So last night, we got a bunch of breaking updates in the JUSSIE Smollett case. It is not confirmed. I will say, based on the evidence we have so far, I think it is accurate that we are going to get confirmation soon that JUSSIE Smollett staged the attack. However, there's a lot of rumors going around that don't make sense. Fox, the network, is standing by JUSSIE Smollett. It is not confirmed. The reason this is important, when the story first broke, okay, when Smollett made the claim, you get all the people on the left, they're sharing these tweets far and wide, they're screaming, they're hooting and hollering. As soon as we get the slightest report, people on the right immediately start jumping up and down, saying definitively this is a hoax, but we don't have that confirmation. Now, the other day, I tweeted out this ABC story because they were alleging multiple sources confirmed to them that Smollett was being written off the show, and he staged this attack for as a publicity stunt. So I tweeted something to the effect of, this is what a lot of people expected, a publicity stunt. I deleted that tweet. Almost within a few minutes, and that's rare for me, but I did, because even though I didn't definitively say, I don't want to be pushing out stories like this when they're being disputed. I do not want to contribute to something on the to the effect of Covington, right? And I think we should all proceed with caution here. But I have a ton of stories pulled up, because apparently we have a lot of evidence to suggest it's probably a hoax. So we all thought it was a hoax to begin with, but now we actually know who these guys are. JUSSIE Smollett has made some statements that effectively show it was some kind of internal, the story's fake. I think we can definitively say, based on the evidence, JUSSIE Smollett was not attacked by Trump supporters. We know who the guys are, and this is where it gets interesting. But first, let's not prattle on. Let's look at ABC 7's news. Last night, the story was more definitive. Now, ABC has walked it back. This is really important. They say, police investigating whether Smollett staged attack with help of others, persons of interest remain in custody. So it sounds like remain in custody. And this is updated 2 hours ago. If that's the case, it sounds like they arrested these guys. So they're saying they're not suspects, but I think the sourcing from ABC is probably going to be accurate. They say police confirmed Thursday that detectives are talking to two persons of interest in connection with the alleged attack on JUSSIE Smollett. Multiple sources have told ABC 7 Eyewitness News that police are investigating whether Smollett and the two men staged the attack allegedly because Smollett was being written off Empire. This is important. I've never seen Empire. However, I'm told by someone who has, Smollett is like a main cast member. He's like a family member. And I was told it would be really weird for him to get written off the show because he's like a very important character in the show. It's not a bit part. He's also got 1.3 million followers on Twitter. So I think this is just not true. I think this is, they're also denying this, right? So we have Empire writers on Twitter retweeting a ton of different people. So there is 0% truth. JUSSIE Smollett was going to be written off Empire. This rumor is totally false. He is the third lead and one of the most beloved characters on the show. Writing him off the show has never been discussed. We also have this statement, the most important one, from Anthony Guglielmi. Media reports about the Empire incident being a hoax are unconfirmed by case detectives. Superintendent Eddie Johnson has contacted ABC 7 Chicago to state on the record that we have no evidence to support their reporting and their supposed CPD sources are uninformed and inaccurate. And so we can then see famed conspiracy theorist Louise Mensch tweeting, unconfirmed is not a denial. Can you clear this up? We have no evidence is a complete denial. Uninformed and inaccurate, both like unconfirmed, leave it open to being true. You owe it to folks to be clear. Is the story false or not yet confirmed? There's a local Crime Watch blog called Crime Watch Blog Chicago, and they're saying that it looks like the police are playing the slow game. They're trying to make sure they get everything lined up properly. And we'll pull this up because, I don't want to say you can't trust this local Crime Watch blog because, just because they're a small outlet, not a major corporate network, doesn't mean they're not trustworthy. But at the same time, take it for what it is. If you want to trust them, it's up to you. But in their story, they have a lot of information that's actually panned out to be pretty accurate. We have this text message. They say, given the developments in the case today, CWB Chicago is sharing the following tip that we received over a week ago. Parallels being revealed today lend credibility to some of the source's information. They've identified the two black friends of his, facial recognition, who are from Wrigleyville and took Lyft to the scene, clothesline from Ace Hardware. Mayor wants to release info now. CPD wants two friends to confess first after they have tower dump. The friends, quote, attacked Smollett as planned and then went back to Wrigleyville. They are the two on the videos. Now, here's the thing. So apparently the two guys that were seen on camera, Smollett said on Good Morning America, those are the guys who attacked me. I know it. Except those guys were extras on the show Empire, and police believe they might, know him, and that the cops know who they are, apparently. Now, one of the more interesting bits being reported is that the police already had Jussie Smollett's phone records, and they got it via subpoena of his provider. And when he sent a PDF to the police with redacted information, they just looked at what phone numbers had been removed and then said, okay, he redacted these numbers. These are the numbers we should look up. And apparently it was the phone numbers for these two guys. So here's the thing. TMZ is reporting persons of interest had home raided, bleach found. First of all, what house doesn't have bleach? Seriously, going into someone's house and finding bleach, that's not news. But they say 3:30 p.m. Pacific, police raided the home of the two men who cops picked up at the O'Hare Airport Wednesday night. This is according to WBBM TV reporter Charlie DeMar, who says he spoke with the family of the two men. Both men are Nigerian and were extras on Empire. Based on what the cops have already said, it appears these are the same men who were captured on the surveillance video. At this point, here's what we can say. The two guys that were seen leaving the scene were extras on Empire. The police have taken them in for questioning. The police have raided their home, apparently kicking their door in and seizing a bunch of objects. At the very least, I think you could claim maybe they were wearing masks and attacked Jussie Smollett over a personal beef, and the attack actually happened. I kind of don't think so. So we don't really know for sure, but this is definitely, I think we can say right now, based on the evidence, definitely not Trump supporters. We cannot say it was a hoax just yet, although I think we're at like 97% of the way there. And the reason I say just, be careful is because you do not want to end up in a Covington situation where you rally and start, pointing fingers, and it turns out, like, let's put it this way. Maybe Jussie Smollett was walking around, down by Subway. He gets a phone call from these guys he knows, and he says something like, they have a beef, right? Let's say they have a beef. And so he's on the phone with them, and he's like, I don't care, they're like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm going to get Subway. I'm down by the Sheraton in Chicago. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, hey, man, when are you going to give me that money you owe me or something? Basically, the point I'm trying to make is maybe he was on the phone with them. They knew where he was. They got into a fight. Dudes showed up, beat him up, pushed him around, and left. And then he got embarrassed that he got pushed around by these guys, so then he claimed some, MAGA nonsense. It's possible he was actually attacked. However, at this point, I think it's impossible that it was random Trump supporters in Chicago screaming MAGA country. That sounds like nonsense. So they say, according to the report, police seized 5 bottles of bleach. Okay, that's a lot of bleach. A red hat, 2 laptops, and other items. The family said the two men left for Nigeria the day of the alleged attack. This is consistent with what law enforcement sources previously told TMZ, that the men left for Nigeria and returned Wednesday night, and the police tracked their travels and were waiting for them when they landed in Chicago. By the way, when we broke the story about the various details of the alleged attack, our Jussie sources said the actor identified the two men as white. We do not know the skin color of the two men from Nigeria. Yeah, we do. What do you mean? There's photos of them. Important to note, the red hat may be a red herring because Jussie never said the men were wearing MAGA hats. Rather, he says they screamed MAGA country. So apparently these two guys were the only people nearby. Now, here's the thing, okay? If I had to make a bet, if you asked me to throw some money down, I'd say Smollett made it all up. And it's probably a partial hoax in that maybe these guys really pushed him around and then he lied about what happened because, I don't know, he wanted to make it a sensational story. So it's a massive exaggeration of the truth. He's altering the details of what actually happened. But I think based on what we can see from how the police have responded, the fact that they've reviewed all these different surveillance tapes, the fact that they've got his phone records, I think right now the reason we're seeing Googly Elmy saying that this is not confirmed is because this early reporting could probably compromise their ability to get a confession. If people start responding in a certain way and it scares these guys and makes them feel like they've lost already, they might not confess. And so the police are maybe saying, no, not confirmed. Like, you might actually ruin their opportunity for getting to the truth, right? Or getting, definitive confessions. Now, I will say this. Crime Watch blog has been pretty spot on with their their stories on this, okay? So the predictions they've made have been fairly close. If they're claiming the mayor wants to release the info now, I'm leaning towards, I personally am trusting Crime Watch blog Chicago. Don't know for sure, but it looks like I'd place a bet on this, right? And so that means we may actually be very, very close to the end. Most of us, I think we already recognize it. It's very likely a hoax. I'll say this though, man. You've got people like Paul Joseph Watson, Jack Posobiec. They're tweeting out confirmed hoax, confirmed hoax. Not even ABC said that. ABC just said, the sources are saying this is what's true. And you do not want to find yourself in a Covington situation where you pumped out this fake news. You jumped the gun. Everybody jumped the gun when the story came out in the first place. Don't jump the gun now. We're close. We're close to the end, but I'm not going to, we'll wrap up there. Stick around. I'll have another video up at 1 p.m. And any more updates on Smollett, I will have, if we get like a big breaking update, I'll probably just hop on a live stream, but stick around. I'll see you guys at 1 p.m.